Hello everyone, my name is Atiye, the founder of Avid Learners English School. In this video, I'm going to give you some general advice on how to prepare for Celpip speaking test. Before we get started, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now, about Celpip test. First thing you should know about Celpip exam is that it's all about timing. It's very important. There are two sets of timer in front of you. One checks the time to prepare yourself. The other one checks the time to speak. So the one that is the timer for preparation is counting down. It's almost for 60 seconds or 30 seconds depending on the task. And the speaking part, you will have 90 seconds or 60 seconds, again depending on the task. Okay, so I think it's a great idea to grab your cell phone, turn on the timer, look at the counting down of the timer to reduce your stress during the time that you're preparing yourself for the test at home. As you're practicing for your Celpip, put it in your habit that you are supposed to time yourself for everything, for preparation and for speaking. See how many ideas you can put, how many ideas can go to your mind if you're preparing yourself for 30 seconds. Some people's mind go blank during the test, so during the preparation, they really don't know what to say and everything is lost in their mind. So to avoid that, I do suggest that you set up the timer of your phone and see how much you can prepare yourself during the preparation time. And for the speaking part, I think it's a great idea to record your voice. Recording voice, I think, is the key to Celpip preparation. When you record your voice, first of all, you know how many ideas you can put in 90 seconds or 60 seconds, the time that you are given, and you will see how many times you repeat a word or how many grammatical errors you have in your language, or how many pronunciation problems that you have, or even how many times you have paused and you couldn't find words. This is really helpful. So my strong suggestion is to record your voice. My next suggestion: when you are given the question, read it really well. Don't think that I know the question. Read the lines, read the words, read it twice, read it 3 times, because you will know what the question wants from you. Don't go for that, okay, I know it's all about advice. No, read it, because one thing, maybe the person who is asking for advice is a man. You have to give a man's name or a woman's name, so be careful. It's like a conversation between you and somebody else. You have to imagine that the person is sitting in front of you, so you can use their name as well as some conversational tone, just like a conversation, you know? For example, if the task is, imagine that your friend is asking for advice to buy a car. Okay, or imagine a friend is planning to lose weight and she wants to lose weight and she is looking for some advice on how to lose weight. One of them is a he, one of them is a she, so be careful. Give them a name. For example, for the he one, you can say, "Hi Mark, I heard that you want to buy a car. I'm so glad that you're going to buy a car," whatever like that, but give a name. And the other one, for the girl, you can give a woman's name. Be careful with this one. Another thing that I think we should do is to start with an introduction. When somebody is asking you for advice, you wouldn't go straight to the advice. "Hey Mike, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. I think you should do that." No. It's like a conversation. You have to make the person feel comfortable asking you a question or asking you for some advice. So what would you say? You would say, "Hey Mike, I'm glad that you have decided to buy a car. I think it's a huge step in your life. Your life will be easier and blah, blah, blah." And you have come to the right person, because I have recently bought a car and I know a lot of things about buying a good car and so on. Give an introduction. It's not important that you give a very formal introduction. Like I said, the person is standing or sitting in front of you, so it's like a conversation, okay? So give an introduction to your speech. Speaking of conversation, the language you're using is conversational, so don't look for fancy words, because there are 2 reasons for that. First of all, in our normal life and everyday life, we don't use a lot of fancy words, and let's face it, the person is asking you for some casual advice. You're not supposed to give them like a lecture, okay? So For advice part, it's not very helpful. For persuading someone, it's not very helpful. You can using fancy words, but some other parts, yes, that you can show the treasure of your vocabulary in some other parts. But in the conversational part, like persuading someone or describing something, doesn't help that much. Okay. But one thing that is very important is for you to be careful with the pronunciation. It's not about pronouncing the words like Americans or like pronouncing the R sound. As long as you don't have a wrong pronunciation, it's okay. No one really cares if you speak with an accent or we don't have an accent. As long as your sentence is correct and with the right tone. Tone is very important. For example, let's imagine that you are giving a person some advice. If you say like, I think you should buy a good car. I think you should buy a Honda, for example, because that is blah, blah. It's so serious. If your voice goes up and down, it shows how conversational you are. So be careful with this one, that give a tone to your language, to your speech. I know it's very hard. Why? Because during the exam setting might be stressful for you. It's not easy to think about the tone, vocabulary, grammar, and everything, and even focusing on what you want to say. I know, but all of these things are possible if you practice. Okay? Another thing that I think you should do is to be careful with the speed of your language. Don't speak too fast. Don't ever think that if you speak fast, the examiner will be impressed. It's not like that. If you speak at the natural flow of speech, at the natural speed, at the natural pace, that person would be happier to listen to you rather than listening to someone who is just speaking fast. Speaking fast has another disadvantage. If you speak fast, you will have stress. You will have more stress because it will add to your excitement, and plus the excitement and the pressure that you have from the exam, that wouldn't be a good speech. So try to take a deep breath and start having start your speech or start to record your voice. All of these things would be possible if you prepare yourself before the exam. Okay? I think what works well is to practice describing things. For example, imagine that you go to a park for a run. Look around, see what people are doing. Try to describe what people are doing, okay? Even if you don't know one action that you see, you can take a note of it and you can come home and look it up in dictionary or search on the web to see what the action is. This will help you in the task that you're supposed to describe a scene. And if I were you, I would look around more closely when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a shopping center, to see what's going to happen and what is happening. These two tasks are really important when you have two tasks during the exam, one describing a scene, one to see what's going to happen. This is very important. So try to see how you can describe things, learning the right word, learning the right expression. About colors, clothes, smells, feels, all of these things are important when you describe a scene, or even when you are talking about what's going to happen. Okay, if it was me, I would never use something I don't know. When you are not sure about a word or an expression, or when you are not sure how to connect sentences together, don't do it. Because if you try, it means you haven't learned completely, you will lose a lot of marks, because the examiner will feel that it's not your expression, it's not your sentence. And never ever memorize a response. If you say a couple of sentences, even simple ones, you will get a mark. I don't say that you will get a good mark, but you will get a mark. So don't go for fancy responses. If I were you, I would dedicate some time to practice recording your voice every night. Because if you do it every day and every night, that would be part of your habit. Seeing the counting down wouldn't stress you at all if you do that. And last but not least, continue watching these videos, because I'm going to give you more advice on that, and we're going to have some serious lessons on how to develop for speaking tests and even listening tests. So if you subscribe to our channel, you will not miss these videos. Thanks for watching it. Bye.